Hello, everybody. It is another week, and you guessed it, another WXR, your wrestling radio show where we basically go through the weekend wrestling and all that good stuff: Raw, SmackDown, main event, NXT, Total Divas, and any of the news and stuff, or whatever's applicable there. And joining us today are James Phoenix,
Hello.
Chris, aka The Mole.
I will just state for the record, I don't think Chris, aka the Mole, is really working out for me, so I'm going through a whole gimmick repackagement, and right now I want to be known as the undefeated Krisky.
Okay, so we have the undefeated Chris here.
Is that meant to be an inside joke?
It was a joke on Snitsky, who kept being repackaged as the undefeated Snitsky every other week after he lost.
Mm-hmm. So as your catchphrase, that wasn't my idea.
And special guest joining us, the Fallen Angel, as you might have heard.
Oh,
All right, and we don't know where Marcus Shadow is. He's probably off, quote unquote, not killing a celebrity.
But we couldn't find Marcus, so we just grabbed the closest thing we had to another minority of an Australian. We're not very diverse here. We don't have too many like blacks, Asians, and Hispanics and stuff. So it was short pickings.
we have pretty much one of each.
We do. we have one of each, except for white people who are predominantly just spreading like a virus.
So first we'll go through notes for that, because usually that's Marcus's job, whether or not he chooses to do it.
I'm gonna do Raw tonight.
I did take some notes.
Yay!
Yeah. Mo has some notes, and I've got the pre. So
My note is right at the very beginning. My first note is the very first part of the Raw.
Yep.
My note: they kicked off Raw, Rick, with probably one of the best matches of the year.
No.
I don't know. I haven't seen Takeover yet, but we will be reviewing that Monday. Stay tuned, folks. But it was Y2J, Chris Jericho, inside a steel cage against Bray Wyatt. It was fucking awesome. Jericho even jumped the fuck off the top of the cell to try and take out Bray when he tried to climb over and the Wyatts were shaking it and stuff. Bray wins and he just beat down Jericho. It was pretty awesome. That was a great match.
And Jimmy mentioned that afterward on Twitter, Jericho tweeted a photo of such, mentioning that I haven't done that move since I did a house show in Calgary in 1996. I think he said. I guess I'm just waiting for the right time to break it out again. Wait, what do you mean I'm 43?
Nice.
I've been afraid of changing. Sorry. I don't know why I always forget that song now.
Now, unfortunately, I missed the beginning of Raw, as I will from every week then on, so I missed that match, but I heard it was good.
Yep.
What else we got here? Okay, then we got, I do like the way that some of the person doing this, the recap I'm quoting from phrase, that is, it's, next we had Dolph Ziggler and The Miz bicker over some goofy-ass photos.
I did take a note for that one as well, Jim.
Go ahead.
The way Miz came out, he was whining about do not show people my photographs and threatening to sue, right when the rumors going around that CM Punk was suing and didn't want his pictures out. I'm not sure that was entirely coincidental, because it seemed to come out of nowhere. So I'm almost convinced it was a CM Punk bit where the pictures were fucking hilarious.
It might be.
It was also related to the A-list
Celebrity League, yeah, the Jennifer Lawrence nudes and whatnot.
Yeah.
It should be mentioned for Richter's benefit that the photos in question included Miz in his underwear getting a facial while wearing a shower cap, then Miz waxing his chest, and then Miz cut Ziggler off before he could show the final picture, but then after he threatened him, Ziggler said, well, if you're going to beat me up anyway, I'll just show it anyway. And it was a picture of Demon Mizdow applying spray tanner to Miz's ass. After that, Miz now ran to the ring. They had a scuffle, and they ran away. Oh, Marcus Shadow is here. Would you look at that?
Someone's fucking late.
He told us he wasn't going to be here at all. Live people. Hang on, allow me to send him a link to send get him in here. Hang on.
Oh, we gotta make fun of him before he gets here. Nah, who am I kidding?
He makes fun of himself.
Pretty much.
'Cause
While we're waiting for him to get here, did you have any notes on the Divas Tag Team match, Mole?
Why need it? Why would you need them?
Is that a no, Mole?
Mole run away.
I think Mole ran away.
Can you not hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you.
All I said was, it was a no because I only took like 4 or 5 notes, if that,
Fair
because
enough.
at that point, that was when Marcus had logged on, and I know he takes the notes for us. I just took notes just to remind me of the stuff I thought was hilarious or really awesome.
Fair enough. Anyway, welcome, Among the Shadow.
What's up? I had a feeling Aussie Man would be here since he got today off.
Yes, we were just discussing the Monday Night Raw. Did you have notes, or did you want me to just continue?
Feel free.
Alrighty. So there was a Divas tag match that wasn't apparently all that good. Then we had
There was shit. I just said I only took very minimum notes.
no, but
It was-
Kanye didn't seem to think it was very good.
No, it was
Yeah.
okay.
Who was it between?
AJ
Natalia and
Paige.
Rosa Mendez versus AJ and Paige.
No, like I said, it was a pretty okay match.
Yeah, and Paige used Black Widow for the win.
Oh, wow.
Fair enough. And then AJ and Paige had a crazy off in the ring.
AJ.
Paige.
Is that how you're shipping them now? Paige?
Paige.
Which totally works if you didn't include AJ and Paige, because that implies 2 AJs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so-
then
Then
So
his
I-
fanfic beats mine.
yeah. So then after the Divas tag match, we needed to set up a match for Night of Champions that had absolutely no build up. So Randy Orton assaulted Jericho in the trainer's room.
Yep. Which I will also point something out with that.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, as one of the WWE people had tweeted, "Breaking news: Jericho taken out of action," which implied he was not going to make it to Night of Champions, and it implied he was injured. However, he did wrestle on SmackDown this week against Randy Orton, teaming with Roman Reigns to face Randy Orton and Seth Rollins in a pretty damn good match. I don't have many SmackDown notes before anyone asks in advance, because no one really gives a shit here about SmackDown, sadly.
No.
But SmackDown was pretty cool, and that was a great match.
Fair enough.
So let me get
Coming
this
up-
straight. Jericho is facing Orton at Night of Champions.
Yep.
That is correct.
Huh.
And Roman Reigns is fighting Seth Rollins.
Oh, okay.
So they're having 3 non-title matches at Night of Champions.
But they've also got the World Heavyweight title defense, and both the IC and United States titles are being defended. I don't know if the Tag Team and Divas titles are. I'm assuming there's going to be a Divas title match.
I assume the Divas title match was between AJ and Paige.
It's between Paige. Anyway,
Fair enough.
moving along. This is about the part where I came into Raw after missing the beginning of it. We had Paul Heyman and John Cena in the ring with a microphone,
Hell fucking yes.
and it was a pretty damn good promo between the two.
Yes.
It was.
Anybody who saw the whole thing want to talk about that? No? Okay,
But
moving
I
on.
thought you said this is how it came in.
I came in near the tail end of it.
No, it was a good promo.
I came in right
You know,
about John
Cena
Cena.
was-
Right about beat John Cena, repeat.
Mhm.
Beat John Cena, repeat. That's about where I came in.
Man, I think Payman was talking up. He came out first, and he was talking up Brock Lesnar and stuff like that. And then Cena came out to Cena came out to respond to it, and Cena did a pretty damn good job. He, for once, I will say, he kind of nailed the whole getting impassioned about something without going over the top and sounding
Yeah.
well like John Cena.
Indeed. And he did end up.
Basically, the promo was Paul Heyman tells him, "Look, these fans keep booing you every night.
Oh, that's
Just
right.
give in. Just turn. Go
Yeah.
on, just give in. Give them what they want. They keep telling you, Cena sucks, Cena sucks. Just give in. Get rid of the merchandise. Get rid of the T-shirts. Just be John Cena. Come on, give them a rap. Tell them where to go. Give in. Just give in." And Cena's basically like, no. And it wasn't like when Kane was trying to make him give in to his hate because it'd create a monster. Like Cena said, it was more of a case of Paul Heyman wants him to give in to those feelings, because if he gives in to those feelings and he strips off everything he is, then goes against Brock Lesnar and gets his ass kicked again, Brock Lesnar will have destroyed everything Cena is. And he doesn't want that to happen. He's like, Cena will live on. Cena is more than just that. Cena is an ideal. Kind of.
Yeah, he mentions, he says, he talks about things he loves doing. He loves being the guy that he doesn't, mind having the dad tell him he sucks, because, even though the kid loves him. He's the guy fortunate enough to meet army guys with purple hearts. He's the guy. He mentions in particular, he got emotional. Is this, when there's
purple hearts, I should probably see a doctor.
Yeah, but he mentioned the one of the big things. You could see him get legitimately emotional as he was saying this about how when there's there's kids out there who don't have much time left and they get one wish. And he's the guy that they asked to meet, and that's something that he wouldn't trade for anything in the world, and that's and that's why his life is eat, sleep, be John Cena, repeat.
Which I will say, that was the one part of the promo I hated.
Really?
I didn't like him mentioning the Make-A-Wish Foundation, because I'm sorry, go all the way back, if you will, to what you gonna do, brother, and Bret Hart and Austin shit. When was the last time you saw Hulk Hogan come out there and have to talk about, oh yeah, I'm giving dying kids a wish, so back off? Or Austin come out and be like, yeah, I'm gonna stun everyone, but it's okay because I'm dealing with sick, dying children. It seems like he seems like he plays that card too much, to the point where it's a little offensive, like he's using them to try and get some praise from people. And it's like, okay, that's cool, you do that outside the ring, but people don't care about what you do outside the ring. While you're in the ring, we want to see you do in-ring shit. At least that's my personal opinion. If he plays it too much, but I don't know how everyone else feels. That could just be me.
That's fair enough. Okay, so
Yeah, I think he plays it too much. But at the same time, I understood what he was going for with this one, and I think it kind of worked. With the whole, despite the fact that the older fans think I suck, I still get to do this stuff. The kids still want to meet me as their last wish, and I'm willing to go through the whole John Cena sucks thing. I'm willing to be the guy that the more adult fans think sucks, if it means I get to keep doing this and fulfilling those wishes, which, okay, fair enough. It kind of makes sense in this respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it made sense when he was mentioning about, and I get to bring cheer to that little kid's face, and he points to the kid in the front row, and now he's going to go to school and tell all his friends about how he got to see the night when John Cena came out to him and stuff like that. That worked. It was just mentioning the kids who were dying, because it's like some of those people that you've granted those wish for will sadly no longer be with us. It seemed a little distasteful to use that in the story.
Which is fair enough. I can see why.
And I'm like, you should stop mentioning it, Cena.
Fair enough.
I agree.
But I don't know what does our lovely host think?
I'm okay with them bringing it up, because I'm not sure how often it's like him deciding it or if it's WWE trying to do it. I don't necessarily think it's always John Cena going like, hey, show the promo package where I'm a good guy.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's Cena doing it. I mean, I'm just referring to the character and how he's booked. Like, I don't think Cena's always going to go out there and say, you know what, WWE, yeah, I've had a tired day, how about I just do 5 moves tonight? Is that okay? I completely understand that's probably the booking.
Yeah.
I was too busy fucking Nikki last night. How about I just do 4 moves? Come on.
I need to save my 5th one for later tonight.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And he ended the promo with an awesome line that Paul Heyman should bring Brock Lesnar next week. And because John Cena says, you bring him, I'm going to come out here, I'm going to fight him. But if Brock Lesnar's too much of a coward and you come out here next week without him, Paul, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to fight you.
Which, that made my notes. The reason that made my notes, Rick, how awesome does that sound? He tells him, bring Brock Lesnar next week, or if Brock's too afraid to show up, I'm going to fight you. Paul Heyman has an, oh shit, will he, won't he look on his face.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, like the next scene or two. Brock Lesnar confirmed for Monday Night Raw next week. I'm like, fuck off, you just ruined for will he, won't he. What the fuck? You've rendered it all pointless within a scene, because you should have built it up like when Austin was going to will he show up and fight Eric Bischoff, or will Vince show up and fight Bischoff and stuff like that. It's like, build it up. So like, imagine if Paul Heyman's in the ring, Cena comes out, and then Brock's music hits, or just something. You don't tell us he's going to be there, because that kind of ruins it. That ruins the illusion.
Yeah. But the problem is, we already knew he was going to be there, because he's scheduled to be there at that Raw the week before Night of Champions. Like we knew after SummerSlam.
And yeah, that is true. Although to be fair, if you hadn't looked at that stuff, like you don't know. Like I was like, I kind of just wanted to see the build up, even though they have it advertised. I still want to see the build up.
I get the feeling they weren't supposed to confirm that because if you think back to that point in time, when Michael Cole said it, he stopped right before he finished saying it, like he hesitated, like, oh shit, I wasn't supposed to say that. And they're like, well, fuck, you already said it, might as well just keep going with it.
That's entirely plausible.
Brock Lesnar confirmed for next week, and the week after still being the Beast Incarnate. Yeah, I covered my ass there.
As long as he said all of that out loud, it'd be great.
All right, well, moving on from that promo, we had a match between Seth Rollins and Sheamus. That was let's see here. We had Cesaro come out and taunt Sheamus and hit him with a finisher just to mock him.
You also forgot one part.
What's that?
This entire time, Rick, they overplayed the season premiere of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
I have to put that down in question marks and exclamation points, because I understand they do it every year because it's that time Monday Night Football starting, all the other seasons are starting on TV, so they normally mention it. But this week it was like every fucking seems like only on the premiere of Monday Night Raw. And it's like, stop this.
That's what happened between Jericho and Orton.
Yeah, and it also happened at the beginning and stuff. And part of me's like, you do realize accidentally what you're saying by saying, "Isn't this the best season premiere?" and stuff all the time, because they're saying that. That means the last week's Raw was the season final. So what you're basically going out on TV and saying is, we have a shit season final. Because it didn't give closure to the season.
Pretty much.
That's true.
And you have to realize, Richter, that the promotion of the season premiere reached WWE Network for only $9.99 proportions. That's how bad it was.
Yeah. Moving along.
What do you mean, yeah? You didn't have to endure 3 hours of that shit, Jim.
I endured about a little over 2. I had enough, believe me. So after that,
man. We were there all the time. We were there.
Yeah.
we got patches with "We will never forget the season premiere."
Yeah. Nice.
How much did they cost?
Yeah. They cost $9.99.
There you go. So Cesaro came out. He took off his coat, mocked Sheamus, hit him with the title, hit him with the finisher. Then Rusev and Lana came out and mocked the national anthem and sang a fake version of it that promoted Rusev. Well, then they played the real Russian national anthem, and Rusev waved a flag, and JR and King looked like they were going to puke.
Yep. I also feel we missed a beat, Rick.
Uh-huh.
We should have told you about the season premiere of Monday Night Raw before we recorded, because it would have been so much funnier if you'd just been promoting all throughout this episode. This was the season premiere of WXR. Did we lose Jim?
I don't know.
Good.
I think we lost Jim.
Well, isn't he
Live,
the host?
Jim.
All right, so moving along. Next, this was really cool. We got to see some NXT superstars on Raw. How awesome was that? We got to see a tag team match in which Sami Zayn teamed up with Adrian Neville, the NXT champion, to take on Tyler Breeze and Tyson Kidd, which was actually a really good tag team match.
Yep, I will say with that match, it was a great match. However, it balanced out to being almost an average match mixed with a bit of good, if that makes sense, because sadly, like most people here and most of the people in there, no one watched NXT, so these guys were getting like no fucking reception in the ring. The crowd was almost dead for the most of the match.
Yeah,
And that
except
made,
when
that made the match feel less. I mean, the crowd got into certain points, but overall, it felt really quiet. They were more involved with Rusev coming out with the national anthem than they were this awesome caliber match. That makes me sad.
Yeah, the only time.
Ole, ole, ole,
Ole, ole. The only time I remember they're getting a pop for that tag team match at all was at the end when Adrian Neville did his crazy fucking top rope finish maneuver.
Yep.
Yeah, the Red Arrow.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, which like I said,
For shooting star, yeah.
which like I said, it's a great thing, and WWE keeps promoting WWE Network for just $9.99. So there's no fucking reason these people shouldn't know who NXT is, because if you have the WWE Network, there's no excuse to not watch this. Hi Jim, hi Marcus.
Hi, Mo.
Yeah, I think the best part of the match was the hot tag to Adrian Neville, where he comes in and just kicks the shit out of Breeze.
Yep. So after that tag team match was pretty awesome, it's time for Jerry.
I would just like to say I love when Adrian Neville did the standing shooting star, because they did a slow-mo replay of that, and the hype he got off of a standing press, I was like, geez.
Oh, yeah, that was impressive.
Dude has leg strength. Holy crap.
Oh,
They
yeah,
also show that in that Matrix video that they have on YouTube.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I knew that the finishing move was like red something. I was like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, I saw him do that.
There you go. But yeah, so we had Jerry Springer coming out to moderate a discussion between the Bella Twins and try to settle some of these latent issues.
And he had his bodyguard.
And their brother.
And their brother, whom he called out, yes, after having their mother and father individually speak on the screen.
I believe when Marcus said, yeah, he didn't have his bodyguard, you're referring to Steve.
I said, and he had his bodyguard. Yes.
Oh, I
Steve.
didn't think he had Steve.
No,
That
it
was the.
Jason.
I assume that was the bald white guy that walked out with him.
No, and I quote, Springer comes to the ring with his security
That's
guard,
racist.
quote-unquote, Jason. I thought his security guard was some dude named Steve who looked like a steroided-up Cal Ripken Jr.
Wait.
Fair.
All white bald people look alike. Okay, I'm going to sit back and just let Rick do all this. I'm sorry.
I said he's racist.
I know, it's just...
He's like, I don't know
Now-
who's bald and white. I can't tell you people apart. What do you
Yeah.
mean, you people?
Except the guy on TV wasn't white. He clearly had darker skin.
So now we can't get a tan? That's racist.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Anyway.
he wasn't on TV for that long.
Although
that
I did make the joke to Jim, Rick, of what he really should have done for this. It would have been a waste, but it would have been fucking hilariously epic. Is when Jay Springer got into the ring, he should have said, now, unfortunately, Steve wasn't here today, so I found the next best thing, and I found WWE Steve. Smash! As Austin comes out to be his bodyguard for the night as bald Steve.
Yes.
It would have been a complete waste, but it would have been it would have been a great pun for like 2 seconds before you realised it was a waste.
Yeah. I said he should have brought out Big Show. Anyway, so this discussion basically was they went back and forth. They showed their parents on the Titantron. Their brother came out and talked to him, and it degraded into a bitch fight. Because it's Jerry Springer.
I believe it's supposed to be called cat fight.
Cat fight, whatever. It started with a bitch slap and then went into a cat fight.
Richter, would you like to?
Cat fight!
There you go.
Cat fight! Cat fight!
No, Richter does it better.
See, all I was thinking with that, when you said do it, Rick, I thought he was going to sing the song off Super El Bisto. At the cat fight! When the 2 women were actually like punching each
There you
other.
go.
fuck up, yet it's singing a sexist song. It was hilarious.
Yeah. So they start beating the crap out of each other, and we're just going to point out exactly how useless Jason was, who did not bother to step into the ring to do anything about this. And even when the Bellas started flipping around to the point that they knocked Jerry over and apparently severely injured him to the point that he had to be carried out on a stretcher.
But no, he gave a thumb up.
He gave a thumb up. He was okay. And the ring on the stretcher, and he smiles at Stephanie, and basically they just keep fighting until they get ripped apart by security guards finally, and some referees. And Jerry Springer gets a thumbs up as he's taken out on a stretcher.
But there was one thing missing.
What was that?
Like I mentioned to you and Jeff at the time, I wanted the nameplate at the bottom with something like "My sister gets all the attention." So I cost her at SummerSlam in quotes just at the bottom. It would have just made the segment.
Yeah.
Also, I believe the point was made as to why does Nikki Bella bother to wear high heel shoes to the ring anymore when every time she gets to the ring, she immediately takes them off and gets in a fight with somebody.
That's exactly what I said to you.
That's what Mole said, yeah.
Yeah, because recently, all she's done when she gets into the ring is take them off and throw them at Bray and attack her. It's like, well, why even wear them? They're not even an effective weapon. At least come down with like 2 sledgehammers strapped to your feet like snowshoes.
Yeah, something.
At least then they'll be effective.
Yes.
Yeah, or stiletto heels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
just grabbing a shoe and throwing it like Brie Bella is like as effective as throwing a steel stair as Richter in a Hell in a Cell. It just bounces the fuck off if they continue walking.
Pretty
Well,
much.
it was Roman Reigns, I believe. So.
Yeah. But I should mention, by the way, speaking of sledgehammers, I will note that at my job I work at, that is a retail store. We sell wrestling figures, and we just got the new line of figures in. And one of them is a line of figures one of the figures is Triple H, and he's got his King of Kings mask, and he has something else, and then he has 2 sledgehammers that he's holding crossed in front of him in the box.
Is
Nice.
one the original sledgehammer before he was future endeavored, and one's the silver sledgehammer?
They look the same to me. I couldn't tell.
Oh, they all look the same.
Yeah, I'm a sledgehammer racist. Anyway, moving along.
Actually, I'd like to say, am I the only one who tried not to bust a gut when Jerry Springer was being carried down on the stretcher, and he gave the 2 thumbs up, and nobody cared? Like, the crowd was completely non-responsive. I was like, wow, that's kind of funny.
I know.
That's not true. Michael Cole cared.
It's almost like this isn't 1998 anymore, and Jerry Springer's no longer relevant. I don't know. I don't just for me.
Who knows? Yeah. So anyway, after this,
who's going to guest host Raw next week? For MySpace Tom?
Make it happen.
His time card's just his picture.
There you go. So after this, we had a match between the Dustbusters and the Matadores. It was okay. The Dustbusters won. Then we went on to what's that?
I thought they were supposed to be Dust Brothers.
I don't know. At one point, Cole or somebody called them the Dustbusters, so I went with that.
Well, every time I hear it, it's always Dust Brothers.
Okay, the Dust Brothers then. Anyway, the Dust Brothers win the match. We move along. There's a tribute to Joan Rivers because she had quite a bit of a thing with Hulk Hogan and was around a lot during the early days of WWE, so that was nice. Jerry Lawler narrated it. It was a nice little tribute. Very well done.
Although I will point out, we did it first.
Indeed. And then we follow that up with Titus O'Neil versus Adam Rose in a short match. It was there for the purpose of Adam Rose winning and the Bunny beating up Heath Slater again. And this time Heath Slater tried to sneak under the ring to take him down, and instead the Bunny kicked him in the face.
I really hope Bunny is going into 2K and being scanned for the DLC in the future.
Yes.
And actually, no, this is
Ever.
just a super kick to the face, and then the Bunny went up to the top rope and hit a Bunny splash off the top onto Titus O'Neil.
Funny splash.
Bunny splash. And then we had everybody's favorite interviewer, Renee Young, was in the back with Roman Reigns. And he basically just cocks his arm and indicates a Superman punch is coming in Orton's future. There's a Lesnar video package. We have Orton versus Reigns, which was a pretty good match.
It was.
They beat the crap out of each other. And the finally, after they just kind of went crazy, and then they just pull them apart because all the refs and everybody had to run in and break up the fight. But they weren't breaking up the fight. It only looked like it because at the end of the match, the cage came down because it was still up there. And Seth Rollins very nicely almost got himself impaled on a fucking cage spike because he wasn't paying attention to what he was doing. As he tried to...
Jim.
Yeah, he tried to get in the ring with the chair, and the spike was literally about 2 inches from his spine.
Yeah,
And he
which
pulled...
at the time it looked awkward as fuck because we didn't see he was almost impaled. It looked like he went to get in the ring, stopped in case he was crushed, but the cage paused, and then he walked, and it looked weird until afterwards, where like I know Jim had seen, I posted to Jeff and stuff with the gif of him almost being impaled. It was so fucking close to going in him, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So the cage came down, and Roman Reigns beat the crap out of Randy Orton in the cage. Then Seth Rollins climbed on the top of the cage, jumped into the cage onto Reigns, and took him down. They had a scuffle, and then Roman Reigns got hit with a bunch of finishers, and then ended with a curb stomp onto a chair. And the Authority stood tall to end the evening.
I would like to point out something that kind of made no sense to me because it was like, why didn't you use that in the ring? After the Rusev bit, they showed a quick thing from the backstage as they were going to commercial break with Rusev, Lana, and Nikolai Volkov, and I'm like, wait, what? He's actually there? What? Why was he? What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, I've been saying for weeks they need to get Nikolai Volkov in here to hang out with them.
And he was there, and they didn't use him except for a little 5-second thing as they were going to commercial. I'm like, you should have had him come out when Lana was singing the Russian national anthem. Come on.
Yeah. Also, I don't see it mentioned.
He totally Vin Diesel'd in Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drifted it.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
the new term.
Yeah. Also, I don't see it written here, but I know I was told that at some point during the evening, Jerry Springer was okay enough to give his final thought.
Yeah, it's online if you want to see it. I haven't seen it, but I noticed they put it up.
They put it up online. Fair enough. So the final thought was there. So that is Raw. Back to El Hamo.
All right, so that was Raw, and no one has any SmackDown notes except for what Mole mentioned earlier, right?
Pretty much. Like I said, SmackDown is still, I will note, they are picking up steam with SmackDown now. Like, for the last couple of weeks, they've actually been doing some pretty good matches again on SmackDown, so it is worth tuning in.
Fair enough.
Okay. And so on to main event.
Indeed.
With Marcus Shut.
Nah.
Hey, you took his Raw, he gets
Go ahead, Marcus. I don't do main event.
So what's main event?
Exactly.
Thank you. Now over to me.
Then
Well
look at
played.
Richter back at Mole.
Well
Look at
played.
Richter back at Mole.
And at some point, it's also worth pointing out we've lost the Fallen Angel.
Oh, dear. Yeah, the Fallen
It's
Angel
almost like we're only allowed one minority in the group at once.
Pretty much.
Google Hangouts just can't handle it anymore.
It's a rule. It's a rule. So, main event was actually a pretty good show because it was a combination of some decent wrestling and some of those bits that were so stupid they were funny. Here's what happened on main event. We opened up with Michael Cole making some breaking announcements to inform us that at the upcoming Night of Champions pay-per-view there will be 2 non-title matches, that being the Reigns-Rollins and Orton-Jericho matches being announced. We follow that up with a really, really great promo by Seth Rollins. I love this promo. He basically comes out and says, you know what, everybody keeps talking about what's going on, so I'm going to go ahead and break this down for the audience. I'm here to talk about the greatest faction in recent WWE history, the Shield, and the 3 of them, they put them up on a screen. Let's take a look at where they are now, shall we? We're going to take a look back at the Shield. Let's start with the lunatic fringe Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose was such a talented guy, he had such potential, until he made the mistake of going head-to-head with me. Let me remind you how that ended. Footage of Ambrose getting slammed into concrete bricks. Cut back to Raw. They just happened to be convenient. Well, no, but Kane put them at ringside. They admitted Kane put them there.
Yeah,
Corporate
he
Kane
did.
put them there.
Like he did, like he does every night. It still looked awkward as fuck.
Fair enough. Anyway, so we come back to Rollins, talks about, and now where's Dean Ambrose? I don't know. Do any of you know? Does anybody know? And the more important question is, does anybody really... Well, I don't think Dean Ambrose even knows, for one thing. And the more important question is, does anybody even care? Now let's move on to the brawn of the Shield, the powerhouse, Roman Reigns. All through my years, through my time, I had to listen to people talk about Roman Reigns is the future of the Shield. Roman Reigns is the future of the WWE. Roman Reigns is going to put this whole thing on his back. Roman Reigns is the future of professional wrestling. Well, let's see what happened to him. Footage from the previous night of him getting assaulted in the cage. Cut back to Rollins. That is just exactly what's going to happen this Sunday at Night of Champions when I also end Roman Reigns. And that brings us back to me, Seth Rollins, the architect of the Shield.
Did he have an architect from the Matrix chair with all the screens?
He should have, but he didn't.
Nah.
Where am I? I am the future of the WWE. I am the future of professional wrestling. I am the future, and he holds up the briefcase. WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And he goes on, but I'm the future. He goes on for a little while until. Now I'm sorry to interrupt you, Seth Rollins, but I'm getting a little tired of listening to you. And Swagger's waving the flag around. So cut the music. Why don't I tell you what I do? You talk about your name being compared, to great innovative men like Hulk Hogan. And said he had mentioned some dudes that he compared himself to, like Hogan and Austin and shit. Well, that's not. I don't see your name popping up anywhere in the list of those, these great men who are innovators. Ever. Where I do see your name coming up is a list of men who like to start things from a distance but can't finish it face to face. That's where your name comes up. And basically, he called Seth Rollins a coward, and he had a match with Jack Swagger.
Can I also just say, I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but can WWE.com also please, dear God, please get some new material?
Yeah.
The reason why is I'm sick of every single time Roman Reigns gets beaten up, they call it the fall of the Roman Reigns Empire.
The fall of the Roman Empire, yeah.
or the Roman Reigns Empire, depending on some variation there of those two, over and over again. It's like, okay, the first time, kind of a funny pun, nice, I see what you did there. Second time, it's like, really, again? It fell again? Okay. It's like, oh, fuck off with this.
Yeah, that was getting a little ridiculous. But it was, anyway, just, basically, of course, but before Jack Swagger gets in there to show you what kind of man you are, I'd like you to understand the kind of America that's about to come down on you. So I would like everyone within the sound of my voice to stand up, put your hand over your heart, and in a loud, clear voice, say with me, "We the people." Sorry, I just wanted to say that. Anyway, so they had a really good back and forth match. I mean, they were being athletic. Swagger was locking in the ankle lock. Rollins was doing crazy ankle lock counters, flipping himself all over and trying to kick Swagger in the face and shit. They had a great back and forth match. It was a great match. Rollins wins. He managed to catch Swagger with, I think it was an enziguri to the face that took him down. I'm not positive, but he managed to take him down. It was either that or it was his that finish he does that's not the curb stomp, the other one. But Rollins wins the match. And then we get to the so stupid it was funny portion of the show. Because we cut to the back.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was just realised something then. I would be reminiscent if I didn't mention that we got it wrong before.
Okay.
Because I was just thinking in my head. The Divas Championship match at Night of Champions is the Fatal 4-Way, because I remember getting pissed off that they inserted the Bellas and stuff with the AJ stuff and made it all about AJ. It's AJ, Paige, and both Bellas in a Fatal 4-Way for the title, I believe.
Oh, did they finally add Brie? Because last I checked, it was a triple threat just with Nikki.
I thought it was either a triple threat or I thought they added Brie.
Maybe they did. I don't know. I know on the show they announced that Nikki was in the match. Maybe they added Brie in a WWE.com announcement.
Fair enough. But we mentioned a second ago there is a one-on-one. I just want to specify it's at least a triple threat.
No. Very good. Okay. So now this is the part where I started laughing. I'm like, okay, this is stupid, but I love it. So we cut to the back where we find Slater and Gator. And Slater and Gator are in the back, where Titus O'Neil announces, by holding up a whiteboard with a cartoon-like plan on it, that they are going wabbit hunting.
Huh.
And it quite literally said, with the W on it, wabbit hunting on the whiteboard. It basically showed this little, they were drawn on there, showing what they were going to do in steps and shit. It was terribly drawn, but it was hilarious. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. Okay, I want to see where this goes. So we do this.
O'Neil have an Elmer Fudd hat?
He did not. He should have, but he did not. So anyway, they announced they're going wabbit hunting, which Wendy's not sure about this, but Ty's like, trust me, you want to get beat up by the rabbit again? Okay, no? Okay, we're going to do this. So they set up their plan. So meanwhile, we cut back to the ring where Cesaro basically squashes Zack Ryder in about 3 minutes. Wait, did I just say no? He squashes him pretty quickly. I will say it started off with basically it was Zack Ryder's doing a bunch of his moves and he hit the broski boot and he threw Cesaro out of the ring and looked impressive for all of about 3 to 4 minutes. At which point Cesaro was like, "Yeah, okay, finisher, pin." So that ended that match, which was not that good. Then we had Renee did a little interview with Cesaro in the ring, where he talked about I'm international, I'm better than you, I'm gonna beat Sheamus for the title on Night of Champions. We had a Raw recap segment of the whole Bella's deal with the Jerry Springer shit, and then so here we go. Let's cut back to the Wabbit Hunters. So we cut back to the back, and we see the Adam Rose leading the Rosebuds down the hallway. And they're dancing down the hallway. So they come around the corner, and the Rabbit is in the back, and Adam Rose is leading the pack. So the pack comes around the corner, and they cut to a T hallway, and so there's a turn, and Adam Rose and the Rosebuds keep going straight, and they go . But the Rabbit, as he comes, the Rabbit stops as the others keep going ahead of him, and he looks down the hallway to the left, to the turn, and there's a Karen hanging from the ceiling on a rope. So they're like, So he hops over and he looks at the Karen for a minute, and then you just see him duck, and as he ducks, you see Titus O'Neil throw a net from the left side of the camera, and it flies over the Rabbit's head, and the Rabbit goes, hands over his mouth and laughs and hops away, and you just pan over and you see the net on Heath Slater. And you're just looking at Titus like, really? Really? So, basically, Titus is like, oh, man. So, that didn't work. So then we go to the Rosebuds come out to the ring, only to be followed by Slater and Gator for a one-on-one match between Titus O'Neil and Adam Rose. During the course of this match, it was a pretty quick match, back and forth. Basically, they did some moves to each other. Heath Slater was on the announce table side of the ring. The Bunny was with the Rosebuds by the ramp. And Heath Slater was like, I'm tired of this. So Heath Slater goes under the ring. And you see him going to the ring, and the Bunny jumps up on the apron on the ramp side of the ring. And Heath Slater goes under the ring and goes right through. And Heath Slater pops out from the other side of the ring. And underneath the ring, as the Rabbit is facing on the apron into the ring, and he jumps up and he goes to attack, and he jumps up to attack the Rabbit from behind. But the Rabbit kind of avoids. It was kind of, I think when he screwed up because there was something. It wasn't, whatever they did, it wasn't clean. But somehow when he jumped up to attack the Rabbit, and the Rabbit ensuguried him in the head on the apron. And when he just dropped like half on the apron with one leg and then fell on the floor like he was supposed to fall on the floor, but he missed and landed part of the apron. But anyway, he got ensuguried in the head and knocked out. And Titus O'Neil's looking at this like, what the and Rose just rolls him up from behind and gets a win. So that happened. And then the Rosebuds danced, and the Bunny was happy, and it was all good. And, yeah. And Adam Rose hugged the Bunny, and they were dancing around. I can't remember if the Bunny went up and did another Bunny Splash. He might have done another Bunny Splash. I can't remember. But anyway, so that happened. So they got to a commercial, and we come back for the final match of the night, which I was slightly disappointed in, and I don't know whose fault this is. Because the final match of the night was Los Matadores, and I'm thinking it was probably their fault. But the final match of the night was a tag team match, and it was Los Matadores versus the premiere of the Ascension on main event. So I will say the Ascension have a badass entrance. Where it's like it's one of those entrances where the video focuses totally on the Titantron video, and you see what look like a darkened arena, and them just doing moves on guys in slow mo in the ring. I'm like, okay, that's badass. And I didn't realize what it was at first, and then it panned out and they came out. I'm like, oh, it's the Ascension. Oh shit. So I got excited for the match. So I'm like, these guys are good. I haven't seen much of these guys, but what I've seen has been awesome. Everybody tells me they're awesome. And they got in the ring, and the match was kind of shit. And I'm thinking it was the Matadori's fault. But for whatever reason, the match was just wasn't that good. It seemed like it was really slow, and like the teams were having trouble matching up with each other's moves. Like I think the problem is I think the Ascension is used to working a little slower, and the Matadors are used to going a little faster, and I think they had trouble lining up. But it wasn't all that good. I wasn't that impressed with the Ascension. They got a couple of good moves in, and they did their tag team finisher, that Fall of Man. That was pretty badass, and they got the victory over one of the Matadors with that. But for some reason, the match just didn't seem quite up to snuff of what I've heard of the Ascension. But that might be the same problem that I know Marcus Shadow has with Paige. So
What, the
To be
fact
fair-
that he didn't let Paige do anything until recently?
To be fair with the Ascension, they've taken away their cool entrance. They replaced one of the members. They're not that good anymore
fair enough.
compared to what the Ascension were.
Okay. Oh, and I will also mention, I don't know where this came up, but as the match started, within the first few minutes of the match, the crowd broke out into a "We Want Tables" chant. I don't know why. But that was an interesting thing that happened. So that was the last match of the night, and that ended our main event for the evening. I will say, best of the night goes for the Slater Gator rabbit hunting plan, because I'm sorry, that was so stupid it was hilarious. But I will also say that Rollins had a great promo, and Rollins and Swagger did have a great match to open the night up. So that was definitely match of the night was Rollins Swagger. Back to the Hammy one.
All right. So now we're going to go to Mole for NXT and or Total Divas.
Would you like me to start with NXT this week?
It is up to you. If you want to, go for it.
Okay. And I'm going to do my review faster than anyone else has. NXT this week was a special showcasing the entire feuds leading into TakeOver 2 and what happened previously. So yeah, clip show. And
Yeah.
yeah, my work was easy this week with NXT. It was a clip show.
Yep. So how about that Total Divas Bowl?
Yeah. Total Divas, like I promised, I was going to keep these shorter because I don't think many people are too interested in them. So I'll start with the shittiest storyline. Vinny, you may remember him, Babe. Vinny and Ariane are still to meet his dad, and she decides to go meet him out of guilt. And then there's this whole thing about how they should get married or shouldn't they. And then the thing she had to tell him last week, it totally looked like she was going to break up with him, was, I don't want to lose you, but I don't want to get married. It's like, okay. Whatever, babe. Whatever. But, the second best or worst, depending on in middle, was Eve Marie went for a photo shoot with Maximum, so you got to see her do some sexy poses and stuff. JoJo got a little jealous because her friend was now getting the limelight, and she didn't like that, so she decided, she basically sulks. Then she goes off and decides to sing, and she sings with the Funkadactyls, and they sing "Somebody Call My Mama." And they decide to do it, and when they were practicing it with her dad, who's like doing one of the Trinity, one of the Funkadactyls' dads, one of the ones who mixes music and stuff. She goes to sing in his studio and stuff, and it sounds perfect. They go to do it main event, and every single one of them is in a different key to the other. And it's almost a disaster. And Eve Marie was backstage, and she just grinned and said, "Hey, JoJo's my friend. I should feel sorry for her, but at the end of the day, whenever I've always been there for her, and whenever it's anything good for me, she always sulks. So yeah, she kind of gets what she deserves." More, more on that next week, because apparently those two are feuding about the fact this is an hour rivalry.
Oh,
That's right. It got real.
somebody didn't call that mama.
Yep. And the best storyline, and I used the term loosely, the best story this week was the Bellas were talking about their success since they've returned. And they're getting stretch therapy and you see Cena being just stretched around like a child playing with Stretch Armstrong for stretch therapy. There's no way to describe that. And Nikki then comes in and she decides to get stretch therapy too. And John Cena says to her, "It's not hard. It's so hard not to just stare into your femininity." And she's like, "John," and he's like, "I was talking about your eyes." And she's like, "Okay." Everyone, including John, just laughing like fuck. What she thought he meant, "I'm going to want to stare at your tits." And then afterwards, she's like to John, "Hey, I'm now more flexible. We have a few minutes before dinner." I was like, "Yeah, we have a lot of minutes after dinner." And they
Nice.
walk off to, I assume, practice their moves.
Show me your moves.
Yeah, it's what Richter would call when his children walk in, "Mummy and Daddy wrestling."
That's what Rick do.
Well, that's why he keeps a steel chair by the side of his bed just in case.
That's right.
"We're just wrestling." Whack hits his wife with a chair. He's like, "Did you really need to do it?" "It's called selling." But during a matchup, Caitlyn throws Brie into Nikki. That's right, it's so old Caitlyn's still around. And she throws Brie into Nikki. Nikki goes flying out the ring onto the floor, hurts her shin, which apparently is an old soccer injury where she had a rod and cast. And long story short, she needs 3 months off. And they feel this could be the end of the Bella's career because they don't think they'll recover from this. And they don't know if they'll ever get work in WWE again or if they'll be able to wrestle. Which is really awkward considering I know what SummerSlam is. I know the future, you're going to be okay. But that's the end of Total Divas this week.
All right. So we will finish up with the news and rumors. So back to Jim.
Alright. Giggity, giggity, giggity. Giggity, giggity, femininity. Alright. So, top of the news this week, and our recurring series on what the hell's wrong with Jake the Snake Roberts. He's apparently showed up. He was at the FSW training facility today, the Future Stars of Wrestling training facility, with his friend Sinbo D, better known as Kizarni. And apparently he was feeling good. He was talking to the guys, helped train some of the students. He even got in the ring and ran the ropes. And apparently he stayed almost 2 hours, and apparently he was looking in good shape. So Jake better. So good for that. What else we got here? I guess I should just get the big one out of the way here. For those who might not have heard, former WWE and WCW superstar Sean O'Hare passed away this week. It was confirmed later on that it was in fact a suicide. He had hung himself in his bedroom and was found there in his home, which is a very sad thing.
Which it is a tragedy. We liked, I mean, at certain parts, like during WCW and stuff, Sean O'Hare was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's still a shame that, as Rick put, he rage quit life, but he took the coward's way out. But still, at least we can still say his wrestling career was okay.
Mm-hmm. He was 43 years old, and normally, I have some issues with some of this sort of thing, but in this case, I don't have all that much sympathy for Sean O'Hare, for the simple reason of not only, was that how he went out, but he also was known to have substance abuse issues, because as is noted here, where do I have that particular piece of the news? It's down here somewhere. Where is this thing? Would I delete it? No.
So professional.
Okay, here it is. It was also noted that he had struggled with alcohol addiction for years prior to his death, and in fact, WWE paid for him to go to rehab 6 times.
Wow.
In the 6 times in the past 6 years, including one this year.
Yep.
And
It's
after he completed the most recent rehab sting, they tried to get in touch with him and they couldn't reach him.
No, like I said, the way he died was shitty, but it's still a loss to wrestling.
It is, but number one, he was an alcoholic, and if you know your Sean O'Hare record, because I looked him up, he's also been arrested. He was also arrested twice for abusing women, so I have very little sympathy for him.
Really, you don't like people who do substance abuse? Please tell us again how you're really supportive of the fact Jake the Snake Roberts is getting better.
At least he's dealing with it.
Sean O'Hare dealt with it.
Yeah, well. Anyway, moving along. In more people that are hurt.
Is that a segment now?
That's the thing. It's like people that got hurt this week. Bobby the Brain Heenan took a bad fall and broke his hip. His wife Cindy informed the promoters that he'd taken the fall of the weekend. He couldn't appear as scheduled at whatever event he was supposed to be at. It was at the Alamo City Comic Con in San Antonio he was supposed to be at. He could not be there for that, for the health issues of the hip. Keep him in your prayers, please.
Which is a shame, and as I've said in the past, in my opinion, Bobby the Brain Heenan is probably the best color commentator of all time.
I can agree with that. What else we got here? Let's see. Oh, here's some. Wait, oh, that's related. Wait, funny. I thought I had more news. Oh, I got more stuff up here. Okay. What else we got here? We did confirm this week that Daniel Bryan does not need a second surgery. Yeah. Continuing the people who got hurt segment or are hurt. Yeah. That's gonna be a new segment. Yeah, they said that he will not need a second surgery, and he's slowly gaining back the strength in his right arm. They are tentatively hoping he'll be back in about 3 months, but that's very, very subject to change.
On the plus side, the segment people who got hurt will probably skyrocket up once Ryback returns.
Yeah, yeah.
He's keeping us in business.
Pretty much. Let's see. Other news. We do know that there are 2 new episodes of the, I guess, hit show Countdown on the WWE Network. It was mentioned that these 2 new episodes will feature countdowns for...
Well, as I say, what do you mean you guess that big? They're meant to be pretty good. I think Marcus has watched one of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, the 2 new episodes coming up, they'll be counting down for the first one that will count down the top 10 most imposing superstars in WWE history. And the second new episode will feature a look down at the top 10 personalities to hold the title of general manager. I'm going to go on a wild guess and think they're probably going to include people that were commissioner and other authority titles like that in there too. I would imagine.
Bischoff needs to win.
He does.
And just to react to Mole, yes, I have seen a couple of them, and I would just like to point out these are WWE created lists, so yeah.
What?
Yeah.
WWE created content on WWE Network? Oh, no, get out of here, you crazy, crazy man. Wait, yeah, it's a WWE generated list, which means they're always bullshit, but there's no always fun to listen to or watch.
Yep.
Like the 50 OMGs that includes Tim White trying to kill himself. And it's like, why? Why is that on the list? Like CM Punk said, why is this number one? Why? No, that's not number one. But why is this on the list? If I'd been number one, I would have rage quit my DVD and just thrown it out the window. I'd be like, we're done here. It's time for me and you to go our separate ways.
Done.
Yeah.
Or just because of what I think should have been number one, I'll go round the corner where the local shops are and I'll kick it through the barbershop window.
There you go. The next piece of news here, if there are any Ring of Honor fans here, it was announced by the Sinclair Broadcast Group on the 9th that they entered into their first syndication deal for the Ring of Honor wrestling product to be shown on the MyNet affiliate in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to air weekly on Saturdays beginning September 13th. So if you're in the listening to this podcast from the Atlanta, Georgia area, check out Ring of Honor.
Isn't it past the 13th now? Or on the 13th right now?
It's a day after, so it aired yesterday. So yeah, stay tuned for new episodes, Saturdays. Yeah, it says here, since purchasing ROH 3 years ago, we've upgraded the production quality, added live events, and expanded the audience footprint to 76 television markets, reaching 44 million households. Sorry. We will add an additional 2.4 million TV households through today's announcement, and are in discussions with additional companies for syndicated distribution. It's an excellent product with a loyal fan base, which has helped ROH become one of the fastest-growing major wrestling franchises in the country. We look forward to expanding ROH's footprint and continuing to offer entertaining original content. So if you're an ROH fan, check it out. The last thing I was debating whether I wanted to mention this, but I will point this out, even though this was semi-debunked, is there was strong rumors running around that Warner Brothers was looking into buying WWE's tape library, or at least rights to it. And there was a kind of a deal, but it turns out that is not true. It is not the tape library itself. Warner Brothers is looking to acquire home video distribution rights to the WWE library.
Well, that was kind of a given. That would be kind of a given that they weren't going to buy their entire back catalogue of videos because, yeah, the network would go out of business. That's pretty much one of the main selling points. The networks would only have pay-per-views and Legends House. For just $9.99.
Yeah. Maybe that's what they offered them. We'll buy your entire catalog for $9.99 a month.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think it's more. I think they mean the literal tape library, as in WWE has a big majority of the tape library already digitized in their files. So I think it meant Warner Bros. Wanted to buy the literal tape library, or so the rumor was. But no, it's actually the. They just want to get the distribution rights. So
that would be hilarious.
And with recent WWE's cost-cutting measures, they made a point that it wouldn't shock anybody if they were trying to monetize the tape library to make some money.
Yeah. It's also, isn't that slightly ironic?
Why is that ironic?
Warner Brothers, their ties to Ted Turner, publishing WWE DVDs, which means a WCW DVD will actually be published by Warner Brothers once again.
What has the world come to?
Yep. As long as they don't sell it to Disney, who'd erase all the catalogue. It'd be like, oh, did you like that faction, the NWO? Never existed. Did you like Hulk Hogan? Yeah, he wasn't a thing. Welcome to WrestleMania 1. What?
Yep. And there's one more thing I will mention because I just spotted this, and this is hilarious. So I'm just going to end on a positive note for the night. Is that apparently, supposedly, WWEshop.com has been dumping all the remaining CM Punk merchandise at deep discount to get rid of it. It's believed that move is believed to be a reaction to Punk's lawyer sending that 22-page letter about royalties and Punk being featured in the video game. So whether this is intentional or not, I don't know, but all the Punk merchandise is sold out. So if you go to WWEshop.com right now and you type in CM Punk in the search, you're going to get the following screen. 0 results found for CM Punk. Did you mean CM Pink?
What happens if you click CM Pink?
I don't know. They didn't say.
Fair enough.
Let's find out.
But
Let's find out.
Yeah, let's find out live. But no, that is pretty funny that CM Punk wants royalties for all the merchandise sold for him since he leaves WWE. Anything with his face and stuff, so they sell it all on sale. Like, fuck you, you're not getting much.
Yeah, zero results found for CM Pink. It doesn't take you anywhere.
So why was that an option?
Because they were mocking CM Punk.
They should have had at least make a CM Pink T-shirt.
Although I do find that ironic that if you type in CM Punk, it brings up that bottom list of suggestions without actually clicking it. All of his merchandise is still the fuck there. CM Punk best since day one hat, $7.99. Lightweight zip navy sweatshirt, $50. Punk and Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman, SummerSlam signed poster.
At the very least, if you type in CM Punk, shouldn't you at least get like WrestleManias where he's appeared in and stuff like that they still sell?
You would think, but no. And no, that's ironic because when you type in CM Punk, it still shows all that list of stuff as if his merchandise is there. But when you click on it, you get a 404. It's not found on WWE.com, so they lied to you. The stuff is not, in fact, there.
So your positive note to end on was, if you're a CM Punk fan, you can't buy shit anymore. Ha 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 ha. I can still buy it with my favourites. Fuck you all. That's your positive end.
Compared to the other stuff, probably.
And no, I didn't think about anything at all. I said, oh, it was giving suggestions in there, like it showed, like on WWE.com, it was just showing these are CM Punk merchandise. It's like, oh, as if it's still there. So it's basically not only is it mocking CM Punk, it's trolling his fans.
That's not positive.
Well, it's still funny.
It's funny, yeah. It's funny. It's just not positive.
Compared to a dude with a a dude with a broken hip, a dude with a fucked up arm, and a dead guy, it's a little positive.
Yeah, because one of those people got better.
No, I didn't mention. I wasn't counting Snake in there. Dude with a broken hip, Heenan. Dude with a fucked up arm, Daniel Bryan, and dead guy, Sean O'Hare.
Dead by Ryback's career. No. I would say the positive news from the evening would be Warner Brothers logos on WCW DVDs. Seems more legit.
Yeah.
I'll take that as my positive news tonight.
There you go.
And the fact Marcus Shadow returned to us. We thought he was dead, but he returned, sadly.
And it's
Indeed.
The Warner Brothers stuff isn't on WCW stuff yet. It's possible that it could be if the deal goes through, if the rumors are true.
Yeah. Which is still more positive than, hey, Punk fans, fuck you all.
So,
but remember, Monday, people, NXT TakeOver 2 review.
And
Right
remember,
after Monday Night Raw.
and remember Tuesday, people, WXR 1 year anniversary special, where the four of us go through and talk about our dream or our at least desired WrestleMania 31 cards.
Yay.
You know, so something occurs to me. If
And
Marcus-
remember, people, Friday, Marcus Shadow will be doing a live stream, a live tweet, and a review of Hulk Hogan's main event.
No, I'm not.
No, that's not nice. Marcus is the movie guy. He doesn't do that. He's going to be reviewing Santa with muscles.
No comment.
By the way, that reminds me. Since Marcus showed up halfway through the show, does that mean tomorrow there's going to be a report of somebody trying to kill a celebrity but not succeeding?
We'll have to wait and see.
No, because he's only half killed him, it means tomorrow we're going to find out someone's been Christopher Reeved.
Nice.
And not even a fuck you for Marcus. I'm pleasantly surprised. All right, take us home, Hammy.
All right, so there you have it, the weekend wrestling. As I said, Monday there will be a NXT review for Takeover 2, and then Tuesday, of course, our 1 year anniversary special. So there's also a video of that, so it breaks down, you know, the order we're all going, if that is something that interests you. So
Will
anyway,
you be joining us for Takeover?
no,
Okay,
sorry.
that's cool. It was an impromptu special.
It was.
So I'd like to thank everyone for joining us this week, and special thank you to Fallen Angel for what he could spare for us.
Yep.
And,
Dynamite.
and we will be back next week. So look forward to that. Thank you, everybody, and good night.